Welcome to Serious Software's e-commerce training series. In this video, we will be covering product setup. Inside your e-commerce admin panel, we are navigating to the products menu on your left-hand toolbar. Similar to some of the other screens we've discussed throughout the series, you have your new button if you want to create something from scratch. You have your search options if your list gets kind of long and you need to search for a particular name or a particular ID. You do have your search criteria there to bring back a smaller subset of products. You also have the ability to break it out by catalog or category here as well. So you can see just the products attached to a specific category or a specific catalog in those the second search criteria box. On our grid, we have our options for our product ID. Remember, if you're having any issues and you're submitting a support ticket, either through your support request option here or by emailing us at ecommerce@serious.com. It's always helpful to give us that ID and the product name if you're having an issue with a specific product. You have a quick view of the image that the customer sees on your storefront. You have your product name, quick overview of the pricing available to that product. If you're tracking your inventory numbers for your finished goods, what's your current on-hand balance for those goods. You have your display order, an active checkbox to quickly turn it on and off, a duplicate record button to clone or copy a product if you have similar setups, and then you have your delete button if you need to stop carrying a certain product. Deletions are permanent. There's no kind of getting it back if you say that you want to delete it, so please be very careful about deletions. Unless you messed up on a product or something like that, we'd probably recommend you just inactivate that product so you can always come back to it in the future, or maybe you're going to sell it again next year. You already have it pre-set up for you. I'm going to click on our white name badge here at the top, and we'll use that as an example to talk about the tabs within the product setup option. Now, I might not cover every tab and every option that is available for the product setup. If you have any specific questions, please look at the Serious Wiki page for product setup, where we give you more definitions about each item, or join us on the e-commerce Q&A session for a more detailed explanation of the option. But we're going to start on the General tab here. And the General tab is going to give us some basic product information. So what's our product name? This is usually going to be the name that's displayed to the customer. So try to think of this as like a catalog name, a finished good name, something that the customer is going to recognize versus more of a production or an in-house name for that product. Do be specific here if they have a couple of different options that they could be choosing from. Sizes or colors or anything like that might be important to include in that name. Your SKU is going to be your internal products code, as well as internal products code. So the difference here really is SKU can be shown to the customer on the order receipt and through their communications with you on the e-commerce storefront. Internal products code cannot. That is 100% just what you would have that product known as in-house. There is an option here. If they're different, check it and you'll get the option for internal product code. If not, you can uncheck it and it'll just show you the SKU. You would tell us how many can they buy. So what is our min and max selectable quantities? What range can they buy from? And then what increment can they buy in? Do they have to buy in increments of 2, 5, or can they just buy as many as they want in single increments? Then you have your pricing options here on the right-hand side. Retail price is the default price. It is the only one required for e-commerce. Now, while this is not tied to your control products, especially our cost-based pricing customers, you should definitely be using your control pricing to figure out what this retail value should be. If you utilize sale or wholesale pricing, There are options here. If you're not using them, just leave them blank. Don't put it in 0 because then it thinks that 0 is the price you want to charge. We don't want to give it away for free. But if I have a sales price for this product, I can type it in. It'll override my retail price. On my storefront, it'll actually show the retail price kind of grayed out and scratched through, and then show the sales price right next to it. For any of my wholesale storefronts, if you remember, there was a checkbox back on the storefront that said, are you allowing wholesale pricing? That has to be enabled for any of the pricing being in this box to be used on the storefront. So I could have a B2B and a B2C concept. My business to business uses the wholesale price. My business customer uses the sales price. So the same product on both websites, but looking at different pricing based on the storefront permission. Then you'll let us know if this product is taxable or non-taxable. All tax calculations come from the company record inside of Control. So if your customer is tax exempt inside of Control, they'll be tax exempt on the website. If they are charged tax, then the rates and rules will come from your tax classes inside of Control. If we scroll down, we'll get some basic product attributes. So you have your width, height, length, and weight. Width and height, if this is going to be a customizable image, which we'll talk about in a later video, height and width are used to display the dimensions of the customer canvas or the artwork palette that they have to design their image. For some of our ADA and electric customers, length is either length or depth, depending on what terminology you use. But that's your third dimension if you need to pass it on to your control product. It does not display to the customer in the canvas, but it can be helpful for you building out those products to transfer to control. The width is the number of pounds this particular item is. One of these items are. It would be used to calculate shipping based on weight if you opt to base your shipping rules based on weight. We do have some basic inventory tracking here on our e-commerce platform. Similar to pricing, this is not related to your inventory numbers inside of Control if you use the inventory module. However, it should be related to it, or whoever is maintaining this should be keeping the monthly counts in mind and using those to come up with the numbers for the on-hand value here. This is a manual update, so anytime you are doing your monthly counts for your finished goods inventory, you should also come here and update your on-hand values for your e-commerce product. And then there's options about what to do once the product or once the inventory reaches 0. Do I want to allow them to keep purchasing this item, or do I want to stop them because I have an out of stock issue? And they would get a message saying the product was out of stock. You have your display settings. So if you remember for some of our previous videos, display order is lowest number takes priority. And it doesn't automatically resync. If you're going to come back and insert products later, maybe build some spacing into your numbering convention. Maybe leave space for like 5 or 10 so you can come back and insert products later. Then you'll let us know, is this product active? So basically, should it show up on the storefront? Is it a featured product? Meaning, would it show up on the home page of the storefront? Is it a new product? It'll give its the product image will have a flag on the corner of the image saying that it's a new product, just calling attention to it so that they know that this is a new item being offered. And then I have my call for pricing option. So this allows me to put maybe some more of my complex items of my catalog on my storefront, but it stops them from being able to buy it. So maybe some of our vehicle wraps or monument signs, they really need to go through the salesperson and the design department before we can get pricing on it. The customer can still see that you offer that, but it'll get a message or a prompt to call in for pricing for those options. Then we have our file upload option, whether or not you want to allow the customer to provide you images for that product. So maybe they've already designed their business card or their name badge, and they just need to upload the PDF for you so that the designer can use it to do your pre-press options. If you remember, there is a checkbox on the storefront as well, saying that the storefront will allow file uploads, and then this one is saying which products on the storefront will allow product uploads or file uploads. Then we have our shipping rules. We allow for free shipping, just meaning there's no shipping charge for this particular product, or you can base it off of 4 different rules: flat rate, quantity based, weight based, or fixed rate item. And we'll get into those 4 definitions in our shipping method video. Every product has its own shipping rule or its ability for its own shipping rule. So you could have some that are quantity based, some that are weight based, and some that are fixed values if you would like. That's up to you and your shipping department. Then at the bottom we have our control integration section, which we'll talk about more in our integration videos, but just know that this is your list of all your active products inside of your control environment, so you can link that up to the correct production option that you would like this product to integrate with when it comes into control. And then our variables to set option allows us to set our production information that should be set during that transfer as well. Then we have our SEO options. If you have a public storefront and you're enabling search capabilities, you can use those SEO options there at the bottom. Our images tab allows for us to define what type of image this product is going to be. Is it going to be a standard or a static image, or is it going to be a customizable image? The customizable option would allow the customer to have the ability to design their own option based on the rules and permissions you allow for the canvas. We will be talking about the customizable option in its own video in more detail, but here's where you would turn on the option for the canvas. As far as the marketing upload, you do have some rules that we would like you to be aware of. So if you look at it, we want you to keep the file under 3 megs, suitable image types, PNG, GIF, or JPEG. And then your image could be scaled, even with following those rules. So just be cognizant and make sure it looks good when you upload it to the website. We also allow for other product images. So basically you could add a carousel of images under the main image. If you think kind of like Amazon, where you have the 2 through 5 images or views of the product, we allow for that as well. So think of this as maybe showing it installed somewhere, or kind of the finished product at the venue. Those types of images that might be helpful showing to an additional or additional views for the customer. Our details tab are going to be our search options. We offer a variety of search options. If you go through your help menus, they'll show you kind of where these are being used and which ones you might want to feature on your storefront. The other option on this tab is the downloads option. So this would be anything you would upload a file, and this is anything you want to provide to the customer about this product. Maybe it's a care sheet, maybe they're buying plastic inserts and you're giving them the template to do their own insert options. Basically you can upload things to provide to the customer for that. And the limitation here is 75 megabytes on the size. Our add-ons tab would be any additional questions or things, variable data that we want the customer to answer about this product. On my example, you can see I have a lot of banner questions. What weight, meaning what weight material would they like? And then my banner options would be like their grommets. What type of grommets do they want? So it gives the customer an interaction to customizing the product without having necessarily to use the customizable image option. You can link to your product categories from here as well. So if you didn't have your products created when you were creating your categories, you can go back and link it up to the correct categories here. Products can be linked to multiple categories across multiple storefronts. And the last tab we're going to talk about today is the tiered pricing tab. Tiered pricing tab you can kind of think of as a price table. When we create our tiers, we say what storefront do we want this tier to be available for, so you can have different tiers for different storefronts. What is my price at that tier, and what is my starting level and ending level? So maybe between 10 and 50, I'm going to charge $5. So that's creating the first row of my table. Then I could come back in and I can say from 51 to 100, I'm going to charge $3. And I can keep going, creating my table options. Once you've gotten all your tabs configured the way that you would like, you come back to your general tab and hit save changes to make sure you save that to your product. Thank you for attending today's session. If you have any questions, please let us know at ecommerce@serious.com or join us on the Q&A session for any additional questions. Thanks. Have a great day.